The dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Not much rain in the forecast, although we still need it. Mix of sun and clouds with a high near 86 today. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. High near 90 tomorrow, low around 63. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Give local, save local. Right now, when you donate blood, we'll give you a limited edition sun shirt with UPF rating of 50 or a $10 gift card voucher to one of our participating businesses. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still giving you a gift. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them. Our delivery people are better at installing them. And our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
When I commit to someone, I want them to commit back to me for, life. That's why I love Verlo mattress. When you buy a Verlo, you get something nobody else offers, a commitment to helping you love your sleep for as long as you own your mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee. Those other places, you get a measly 60, 90, maybe 120 nights. Not even close, guys. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo. Listen, at Verlo Mattress, saving a lot on a comfortable mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee is easy. Why? Well, because we make our mattresses right at the store. Yeah, we cut out the middleman, and voila, you got it. We pass the savings directly onto you every day. So hurry in today to your local Verlo, where there are no middleman markups. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The Illinois Supreme Court siding with the Pretrial Fairness Act. Good morning. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Of course, we were anticipating a ruling yesterday, and it came out right at 9 o'clock, where the Illinois Supreme Court decided that the Pretrial Fairness Act is constitutional after state's attorneys from across the state filed litigation against implementation of the law starting January 1st. And late last year, if you recall, a Kankakee County judge consolidating all of those cases and finding that the state's Safety Act and the Pretrial Fairness Act violated the Constitution on multiple grounds of separation of powers, but also the Victims' Rights Bill of Rights. So you had the Kankakee County judge make that ruling that it was unconstitutional, and then the Supreme Court had to essentially hold it from being implemented until they could deal with the issue. And then we had the hearing in March where you had both sides present in front of the Illinois Supreme Court, and also you've got the issue of being decided yesterday. And after it was decided, 60 days the court gave for it to be implemented. A lot of conversation about this yesterday from all sides, and you've got statements from the governor supporting the decision. You've got statements from the attorney general supporting the decision. You've also got statements from the Pretrial Fairness Network, a group of advocates who have been pushing for this. And one of the chief sponsors of the measure was State Senator Robert Peters, a Democrat from Chicago. And he laid out his applause for this being upheld by the state Supreme Court. Here's Robert Peters yesterday during a news conference held virtually with a whole bunch of advocates.
As someone who has been part of this coalition well before I was a state senator, I am truly honored to have been part of all of it. I remember the people who told us this was impossible. And may we stop having so many naysayers who are often left to history's dustbin. This is an historic civil rights victory that has become our state's version of Obamacare, a repeatedly disgusting fight by right-wingers who don't care about people's safety and play dirty politics with people's lives. I'm disappointed in those right-wingers. The only purge that happened was the waste of taxpayer dollars and time. Their attacks caused undue pain for those working class families with loved ones locked up due to being poor. This is about safety over wealth. This is about community over isolation. This is about hope over fear. This is about making history. And in Illinois, as you can see here, we had leaders who didn't run away from their shadows, but stood strong, arm in arm, with an organized movement that is making change.
So again, Robert Peters there, one of the chief sponsors of the Safety Act and the no cash bail provision. And really think about it, you are innocent until proven guilty. And what they're looking to address here is the issue of individuals who are innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, they've been arrested as a suspect in a crime, but they're innocent until proven guilty. And just because they can't afford a cash bail, the proponents of this say they shouldn't have to languish behind bars because that disrupts a whole host of things. So you have now another sponsor of this, State Representative Justin Slaughter. He sounded off yesterday as well and laid out some of the particulars about the Safety Act and things moving forward.
Safety, accountability, fairness, equity, and justice won for the people of Illinois. And now, on this great day, as trailblazers for the entire country, we usher in a more fair and just pretrial system. We restore the presumption of innocence. When we look at this mass incarceration crisis, it's important that we address overly punitive criminal justice policies that push individuals, mainly Black and Brown people, communities, deeper into our system. Provisions that deal with the transition period, the detention net, our dangerousness standard, willful flight, our statewide public defender program that we'll be rolling out. How will we deal with prompt remote hearings, warrants, trespassing and misdemeanor citations, electronic monitoring? How will we implement our speedy trial program and appeals, and so many other comprehensive provisions that will make ending cash bail an important ineffective.
So statewide, the first state to ever do so, ending cash bail after the Illinois Supreme Court upheld the Pretrial Fairness Act portion of the Safety Act. We will hear from the law enforcement community. I connected with the Illinois Sheriff's Association and also the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. So we'll hear from them coming up, but let's hear from prosecutors who support the end of no cash bail in the state of Illinois. Here's Eric Reinhart. He is the state's attorney for Lake County.
Even individuals who are charged but are released for primarily nonviolent offenses or for nonviolent offenses, they'll have some of these conditions also. They will be required to come back to court. They will be required to follow certain rules. And this really mirrors the 2020 Supreme Court Commission that came out in April of 2020, where we had police leaders, we had prosecutors from across the state, we had policy leaders, we had advocates working on this April 2020 commission. I would direct members of the press to that April 2020 report, where it talked about nonviolent offenders not needing to be held, that if they were not a risk to the community, that people do not need to be held prior to trial. We have to recognize that it can take a while to get to a trial, and that we have to balance all that. I thought as Justice Slaughter said amazingly, that we have to balance the turbulence in people's lives when it comes to education, jobs, and housing that occurs when we incarcerate them unnecessarily. And what that commission said in April of 2020, I think that's such an important date, was that nonviolent offenders shouldn't be held prior to trial. But they can't have these conditions on them, these sureties, as Charlene said. And if those conditions are violated, judges absolutely have the discretion to put somebody in custody because they've been given their chance to follow the rules.
One of the main things of the arguments that the prosecutors brought forward challenging this was that cash bond is constitutional. And the state Supreme Court says while a surety is constitutional, that doesn't necessarily have to be cash money. And that seems to be where the Illinois Supreme Court landed. Judges can give other kinds of sureties, like you can't be in contact with this specific person, you can't go to this specific address, you can't be found violating other laws. And if those sureties are violated, then they can be held. And that's something that the Lake County State's Attorney had to say. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox, she said that they're ready to implement this. They were ready to implement this from when it was supposed to go into effect on January 1st.
And so we had adequate staffing. We had, adequate time to prepare how the motions would go, training on our staff. We did repeated training of our staff of how to implement the new law. And so, as I said, on December 31st, we were ready. All of us were ready to go into that courtroom on January 1st. So what I can assure people is that on September 18th, we will be just as ready as we were on January 1st, that we have adequate resources to be able to meet the needs that are laid out before us. We have been eagerly awaiting this day so that the people of the Cook County State's Attorney's Office could implement this law.
So again, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox saying they're ready to implement it, and they've got all the pieces in place. Prosecutors across the states also saying they're going to comply with this. Even here in Sangamon County, State's Attorney Dan Wright says they will, comply with the order and implement no cash bail. But again, 60 days from yesterday, so now 59 days, no cash bail will be the law of the land in the state of Illinois. We'll hear from the law enforcement community, in particular the Illinois Sheriff's Association and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. Stay tuned. We'll get to that next here on WMAY. With Springfield's Morning News, I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on Air. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can also email bishoponair@gmail.com. All right, stay tuned. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today we've got possibility of some showers later on. The high up to 86, the low down to 70. Thursday, the high of 90 with a slight chance of storms. Friday, the high of 81, mostly sunny skies. And then Saturday, we're looking at a high of 84. By Sunday, we've got a high of 87 with a chance of storms. Right now, 64 degrees at 622 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road? First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death. The next time you're on the road, do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it. Sponsored by the Illinois Broadcasters Association. Aired in cooperation with this station. Thanks to the AAA Auto Club for their financial support in the airing of this message.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
I think what people want from their doctors, as much as anything, is a partner in their care. I'm Dr. Chris McDowell, a physician with SIU Medicine. Our clinical excellence is unmatched in the region. We're home to the latest technology, the best people. But what sets us apart is our commitment to our patients. Being there for them as a partner, a supporter, as an advocate, and even a neighbor. That's what makes SIU Medicine so unique. Learn more at siumed.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
So we heard from the supporters of ending cash bail after yesterday's Illinois Supreme Court ruling uplifting no cash bail statewide starting September 18th. I connected with Illinois Sheriff's Association Executive Director Jim Kajcek, and he provided an initial reaction to what this ultimately means for the law enforcement community and for the public.
Well, I guess we'll go back to the process that was established, that each of their individual offices, in terms of protocols that they were working on prior to the injunction being placed on at the end of 2022. So now we've got 60 days from today to, I guess, gather all of that information again, figure out, go back and work with the unknown, with the courts. I think there were questions about whether or not there might be some tweaks that were sent back. I don't think any of us were terribly surprised that, disappointed for sure, but not terribly surprised that, in fact, the courts ruled the way they did, but we didn't know if there would be some level of modification. So now, take back out everything that we had before, work with our state's attorneys, talk to the chief judges. And if you remember back in the act that passed, or I should say the final trailer bill that passed and was signed into law in December, one of the things in there established a new process where petitions could be filed for those people currently in custody to have those charges, I shouldn't say the charge reconsidered, but their bail reconsidered. And that created a timeline, and I don't have that all off the top of my head, but it created, based on certain offenses, when those would be heard before the court. So now it's a matter of redeveloping that same system that they indicated is in place now and adjusting the timelines according to how they would have been set up at the first of the year from September 18th moving forward. So there's going to be an awful lot of work that goes on here. Obviously, we still have concerns, significant concerns like we have had all along about, people not necessarily being detained that ought to be. and how our communities are going to react to that.
So if you recall, the law that passed in early 2021 narrowly, barely passed the House and Senate, but still was very much on its way towards implementation in early 2021. It had to be changed 2 or 3 times. The most recent change came in December of 2022, which narrowed down the detainable offenses because at first the concern was, well, this is going to let people out on second-degree murder or, arson or a variety of other violent crimes. And Democrats said that was, hyperbole, but they still went back and clarified things as to what was a detainable offense. So more from Jim Kychek about the resources that are going to be necessary, especially for those who may be repeat offenders, who on a first offense get in, they get booked, then they're let out, and then they do another offense. Well, then you got warrants that are going to have to be issued and so on. He says that's going to increase the resource capacity for those law enforcement officers on the street.
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I don't know that we have all of I know we don't have all of the answers to that yet, but I think the issue is going to be we're going to have people that instead of issuing warrants in a lot of cases, a summons to appear will be the case, and the process for us being able to deliver them. It's going to be a lot more workload put on the sheriff's office moving forward because we're not holding people in custody in some cases that otherwise might have had their appearance before the judge, and thus we may not have had a need for this. So it's, Greg, unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, it is what it is at this point in time. We're going to have to figure out the best way to move forward and then go back to the General Assembly and say, okay, hey, if we find different aspects of this that do not work or are whatever fundamental issue there might be there, we're going to have to explain it to them and say, we need another fix to this. I don't know. I mean, it has made it through the process to the highest court, and the court has issued its opinion. Whether I agree with it or not, it is the law.
So again, that's Jim Kychek from the Illinois Sheriff's Association sounding off on his reaction and the resources he says are going to have to be increased for those on law enforcement on the ground. But what about the detainable offenses? The Illinois Civic Federation, they put out a list of the detainable offenses back after the change passed in December of last year. And here's what ultimately they have laid out here. In analysis of the law, all non-forcible felonies that are not eligible for probation if the defendant's release poses a real and present threat and safety to any person or persons in the community based on specific articulable facts of the case. All forcible felonies if the defendant's release poses a real and present threats to the safety of any person or persons in the community based on specific articulable facts of the case. This includes treason, first-degree murder, second-degree murder, predatory criminal sexual assault of a child, aggravated criminal sexual assault, armed robbery, aggravated robbery, burglary, where there's the use of force against another person, residential burglary, home invasion, vehicle invasion, aggravated arson, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated battery resulting in great bodily harm or permanent disability or disfigurement, or any other felony which involves the threat or infliction of great bodily harm or permanent disability and disfigurement. So that kind of spells out what is a detainable offense. And they had to go in and change the state law to spell that out clearly. But here's Jim Kychek with more about how this is going to ultimately play out when it comes to a criminal defendant being arrested.
I'm concerned about, threat to the community. I don't know what this is going to create. I think the expectation of the community is that when we arrest somebody for, I'll pick on a retail theft. I leave Walmart with a 65-inch TV. It's a theft over. I should be incarcerated for that, held to go see a judge. Instead, in this case, because unless my criminal history or other issues appear, there's a strong likelihood that I'm going to be booked and released at that point in time, just potentially to be able to go back and do the same act again. And I think that's, those are areas where we're certainly going to have to explore. What the impacts are at the local level, how the judges handle this. Do they feel like they have enough autonomy in their own situation to be able to make decisions about the safety of their community? All questions that it will be a learning process. There's no doubt about it. And I don't know that any one process is going to explain it for everybody or be the kind of path that everybody should go down. I think people are going to have to find their own path based on the parameters of the law.
So we'll watch what happens, of course, with local counties and how they handle this. But you've got the Democrats who are emboldened by the Illinois Supreme Court's ruling upholding the Pretrial Fairness Act, encouraging people to hold their county officials accountable. So that was the Sheriff's Association. What about the Fraternal Order of Police? I talked with Donald Hackett. He is the secretary of the Fraternal Order of Police for statewide FOP, and he laid out his initial reactions here to the upholding of no cash bail.
The repeat offender is not going to be able to be incarcerated, and it's not going to take the criminal element very long to figure out how to play the game. And people's well-being, safety, lives will be, they're going to be in peril. And we're not going to say there's going to be murder on every street corner, but what police will not be able to do in 60 days is, I'm not sure that the public has that perception of what's going to happen.
Hackett also talked about a message he has for the general public concerned about their safety and, saying don't blame Illinois police.
When they call the police, and the police show up and say there's nothing we can do, please do not blame the police. This is all on the Illinois General Assembly, and it's definitely not on the Illinois police officers from Rockford to Metropolis and from Rock Island to Danville. This is strictly on the Illinois General Assembly.
Well, and I also asked the secretary of the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police about police morale and what this does to police morale.
I can tell you right now that the morale just got a whole lot lower today with what the Supreme Court decision says. It's difficult enough with the restrictions that House Bill 3653 has placed on law enforcement, and now that the cashless bail comes into effect, we have incredible men and women that serve across the state, and they do their job. They do it with honor and dignity, and now they're going to go to crime scenes, and they're going to look at somebody and say, you got to leave the property, but we can't take you to jail. And they're issued a summons, and the morale is going to be much lower, and we'll see how it plays out. It's easy to say, talking hypotheticals. Well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. No one really knows what the grim reality is going to be until 60 days from today.
Now it's 59 days from today, so we'll obviously be watching this closely as it gets implemented statewide, but that's the latest back and forth about the no cash bail provision being upheld by the Illinois Supreme Court. Supporters saying it's an historic day, the state being the first to do this statewide. Opponents saying that they're concerned about safety on the streets. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on Air. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air. All right, stay tuned. Coming back, we'll talk about the cost of migrant health care. All right, that's next here with WMAY. Now at 6:36. Check the headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, 23-year-old American soldier Travis King, who bolted across the border from South Korea to North Korea yesterday, is the first American known to be detained in the North in nearly 5 years. King had served time in a South Korean prison for assault and was being sent home to Fort Bliss, Texas, when he disappeared. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed King was now likely in North Korean custody. Illinois residents may be entitled to cash payments as part of an upcoming settlement between the state and Instagram. The state filed a class action lawsuit alleging that Instagram and other platforms controlled by Meta violated the state's Biometric Information Privacy Act. Instagram allegedly collected and stored personal identifiers like fingerprints and facial recognition illegally, leading to the settlement worth $68.5 million. Borderless Magazine and Block Club Chicago have received high praise from the Los Angeles Times and others for their series of articles on migrants in Chicago called After the Buses. The The two organizations collaborated to tell the stories of migrants bused to the Windy City by Republican governors and those migrants' efforts to become productive members of American society. The largest portion of the migrants are from Venezuela, many of whom are in the country legally seeking asylum. The Illinois Supreme Court moved yesterday without comment to suspend the law licenses of ComEd for defendants Ann Pramaggiore and Michael McLean. Pramaggiore, former CEO of Commonwealth Edison, and former company lobbyist McLean were convicted of bribery, along with ComEd lobbyists John Hooker and Jay Doherty. Taco Bell may now use the phrase Taco Tuesday in its advertising, as competing fast food chain Taco John's abandoned its federal Taco Tuesday trademark. The decision came as the Wyoming-based chain faced mounting legal bills in defending the trademark. Instead, the company said it would donate $100 for each of its nearly 400 locations to a nonprofit for restaurant workers in crisis and challenged Taco Bell to do the same. Taco John's owned the right to use the Taco Tuesday name in commerce in every state except New Jersey, where it's still owned by Gregory's Restaurant and Bar in Summers Point. The Illinois Supreme Court has upheld the Safety Act. The new law was passed after the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Pretrial Practices strongly endorsed bail reform, noting that a defendant who can't afford bail sees his or life unravel within days from loss of a job, loss of child custody, or health problems without access to medication. The commission found that cash bail tends to generate spurious plea deals as defendants plead to a lower-level offense to get out of jail sooner. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service, exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Not much rain in the forecast, although we still need it. Mix of sun and clouds with a high near 86 today. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. High near 90 tomorrow, low around 63. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Brain freeze.
Blue tongue, purple lips, how long will it last? All summer at Snowbiz.
Snowbiz.
Everybody's favorite summer stop is back with more flavors than you can count. And every Tuesday is buy one, get one free day. Snowbiz. Laurel, west of MacArthur.
Your next vacation to Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Florida is just a quick flight away with nonstop flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Enjoy lounging on the beach, golfing the stunning courses, or catching up with family in the Sunshine State. Find yourself a warm getaway with low fares from Allegiant and your friends at Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, where parking is always free. Book your trip today at Allegiant.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See Associated for details.
I think what people want from their doctors, as much as anything, is a partner in their care. I'm Dr. Chris McDowell, a physician with SIU Medicine. Our clinical excellence is unmatched in the region. We're home to the latest technology, the best people. But what sets us apart is our commitment to our patients. Being there for them as a partner, a supporter, as an advocate, and even a neighbor. That's what makes SIU Medicine so unique. Learn more at siumed.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. At least once a year, I book myself a flight itinerary that contains at least a 4-hour layover at the Milwaukee airport. Am I going there for a beer or some cheese? No, I'm there for a great rare and used bookstore located right inside the terminal. Thousands of used and rare books for sale and no schlepping. For a modest charge, they'll ship. At Seattle's airport, there are 2 little free libraries. People donate books for travelers to read and then pay it forward by donating books back. The airport in San Jose, California, lets you download hundreds of library books for free. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Illinois taxpayer subsidies for migrant health care could run over budgets by this fall. That's according to a hearing yesterday with the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules dealing with the taxpayer subsidies for migrant health care. That's part of the current state budget. Welcome back. Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. So just a quick civics lessons for Illinois. When state passes a law that the state agency is supposed to manage, the state agency then is given rulemaking authority, either emergency rulemaking authority, but definitely permanent rulemaking authority. And then they file those rules with the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, which doesn't approve rules, but they can block rules. So they had a whole host of things yesterday that they were dealing with in JCAR. One was coming from the Illinois Department of Human Services, which is handling the subsidies for migrant health care. And back in 2020, the state of Illinois opened up subsidies for migrant health care for those over the age of 65 in the country undocumented. But then in 2022, they expanded that to have those in the country undocumented over the age of 42 to have health care, subsidized by the taxpayer. No federal tax dollars, only Illinois tax dollars. Then there were estimates on how much this was going to cost the taxpayers, and it was estimated to be way north of $1 billion for the current fiscal year. So Governor J.B. Pritzker, talking with legislators and crafting the budget, was able to secure rules to be able to manage the cost. So the budget now is only $550 million. But again, yesterday during the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, the headline here is that you've got Illinois taxpayer subsidies for migrant care possibly going over budget this fall. So here is one of the agency directors, agency officials, talking with State Senator Christina Castro yesterday during the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules about the issue of migrant health care and how much it's going to cost, and if they're going to go over budget because of the continued costs and how much this is on taxpayers to cover. So here is that back and forth.
I think one of the things that obviously constituted the emergency rulemaking process was just the status of the legislation as passed by the General Assembly, which did provide emergency rulemaking authority in Senate Bill 1298. Then on top of that, we have projected liabilities of about $1.2 billion for the program if no changes are made. The resources that were made available to the department by the General Assembly through the budgetary process was $550 million. Spending, $120 million a month gets us to about November. And I think our concern is being able to protect those individuals already enrolled in the program, to make sure that the changes that they see to the benefits that they've already enrolled for and have come to expect, that the disruption to those benefits can be minimized as much as possible in order to protect, their health and welfare. I think it was really just looking at our monthly expenditures within FY23 and knowing that we're continuing to see double-digit percentage growth in enrollment every month that led us to the conclusion that the sooner we're able to implement the changes, as I mentioned before, the less dramatic impact on those existing customers.
So again, Governor J.B. Pritzker, when the new budget year started July 1st, he changed the enrollment. So no longer is it 42 and up. Now it's only 65 and up. And he's putting co-pays in place. But even Democrats on the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules were critical of the Pritzker administration for not talking enough with JCAR or not talking enough with the advocates in this space, saying that it seems like the rug was pulled out from under them and they're not able to cover the costs. But when it comes to the overall costs, State Senator Don DeWitt, he said that he can't see this even possibly working out because of just the exorbitant costs to the Illinois taxpayer.
We're talking about potentially 2% of the state's $50 billion budget. That's a significant amount of money. And I would certainly make that as a recommendation that perhaps COGFA, a report that everybody in the system sees on a monthly basis, should have their eyes on. Regarding that $650 million budget constraint assignment that you've all been given, and again, I think Tom Cruise should be here because I see this as mission impossible, frankly.
So Don DeWitt, of course, talking about how it's just impossible to actually fund this. Here is State Representative Stephen Reich, who was very critical of how the governor has managed this, getting to the point where we are today.
This responsibility for this goes a lot higher than you folks. This is another instance of a governor that thinks he can run this state on his own. First, he did it with his 40-some disaster declarations. Now he's doing it with emergency rule. Not to mention the fact that the 24-month hiatus of issuing new emergency rules after the expiration of an emergency rule was voted on in the House as well. So basically, what we've done is we've turned this program into a one-man show.
So again, Stephen Reich highlighting how the governor's the one that holds the bag on this. He said it's not on the department. It goes higher than the department. It's the governor that's treating this like an emergency instead of having it actually go through a legitimate legislative process. So obviously a lot of costs and concerns there. We'll see that story again because they're going to come back in 30 days to actually deal with this issue some more. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY. Coming back, we'll connect with John Bach from Gun Save Life to get the latest on a FOID card case. Stay tuned. Right now, though, it's 6:51 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop.
This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
I'm sleeping so hot.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm on fire. Send help. Finally, can you help?
For the last time, ma'am, turn your thermostat below 90 degrees, stop cuddling up next to this bear, and take the plastic cover off and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
During Verlo's Sleep Cool sale, we're offering discounts on our firm, plush, pillow top, and hybrid V7 through V11 sets. On top of our discounts, we're giving you a free cool contact mattress protector, a set of cotton or bamboo sheets, or 2 of our Verlo gel pillows. Pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and save even more. So beat the heat this summer and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
Thanks, Verlo.
Verlo mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Barcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company, right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
Give local, save local. Right now, when you donate blood, we'll give you a limited edition Sun shirt with UPF rating of 50 or a $10 gift card voucher to one of our participating businesses. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still giving you a gift. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections, Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
If your computer is showing signs of slowing down, bring it to BLH Computers. They've restored thousands of computers once thought destined for a replacement. Remember, if you bought it from BLH Computers, repairs are free, as in no charge for labor. In-stock replacement parts are free as well. Those are just some of the details of the exclusive BLH guarantee. So if it's taking you longer to get your computer work done, it could just be a small repair. Bring it to BLH Computers for a complete diagnosis. BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, Springfield, and online at blhcomputers.com.
Well, the Illinois FOID card still intact after a Sangamon County judge sided with the state in a case brought by Gun Save Life. And if we look at the docket entry from the Sangamon County Courthouse, you'll see that the case docket started 2019. And yesterday, it had a final determination with the entire case being stricken. To join us, give us a quick recap of the arguments here and whether or not you're actually going to have an appeal. John Bach from Gun Save Life joins us. Good morning, John. Thanks for taking time. What happened yesterday?
Good morning, Greg. Yesterday morning was a bad morning for freedom. The judge ruled against us in our challenge to the FOID Act, and we're confident that we're going to appeal. Yes, we're going to appeal. Yes, we're ultimately going to win. I think the judge is more interested in getting in another round or two of golf than researching and writing a cogent decision in a landmark civil rights lawsuit. And so she won't be even a footnote in history. But the FOID card is destined for the dustbin of history because, after all, there were no FOID cards in 1791, and that's the standard by which the judges and courts are supposed to rule today, but not always do they follow the rule of law.
So, John, when you obviously have the ruling, you get this and you read through it, did they just kind of take whatever the recommended order was from the state and just kind of give that to you guys and say, there you go, have a good day, case closed?
Basically, yes. This court ordered both sides to issue proposed orders at the end of her oral arguments hearing 3 or 4 weeks ago. And basically, she just autographed the state's proposed order, and there you go. But interestingly, in it, she writes, or the state wrote, about how military-grade firearms were supposed to be owned by individuals back in the founding times. And yet we've got the lawsuit, Governor Pritzker's Protect Illinois Communities Act, declaring that these military-grade firearms are just horrible, and we've got to ban them. So I don't know how the state squares the arguments in these two positions that are obviously very, very disparate in what they're writing about and what they're claiming.
Well, we'll definitely be tracking this as you expect to file an appeal in the state court. Do you anticipate this in 10 seconds here? Could this go to the federal courts instead?
Ultimately, if we fail in state court, I guarantee we'll be appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we'll see what they have to say about it.
John Bach, Gun Save Life, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us this morning and getting this important news out there of the FOID card being upheld by a county court in Sangamon County. John, thanks, and be safe out there, all right?
Thanks, Greg. Take care.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Emwin. U.S. authorities trying to make sense of an American soldier captured in North Korea after running into the demilitarized zone separating the North and South. A witness says she saw him.
Everybody was stunned and shocked. There were some people who hadn't even realized what was going on, and then I saw the back of him disappearing, but there were some people who were just sort of pottering around taking photos and that kind of thing. And they actually, when we got on the bus, someone sort of said, I overheard someone say, what the hell happened there?
Tourist Sarah Leslie on a tour of the DMZ at the time. 23-year-old Army Private Travis King had just been released from South Korea and was supposed to be headed back to the U.S. to face possible military charges, but apparently decided to flee into North Korea instead. Another grand jury indictment could come in a matter of days for former President Trump. He received an official target letter saying he's the focus of a federal January 6th investigation led by Special Counsel Jack Smith.
Sources tell ABC News Trump's aides and attorneys calling around to see if anyone else had received a target letter. We can't find anyone, one of those sources tells us. Trump said the prosecutors gave him until Thursday to testify before the grand jury. Sources close to the former president say he is unlikely to accept the offer.
ABC's Jonathan Karl. Historic heat in western and southern states. Texas suffering triple-digit heat for weeks. Vegas marking day 5 at 110 degrees or warmer. And Phoenix,
Arizona has broken a record that stood for nearly 50 years. For 19 straight days, real temperatures hitting 110 degrees or more. And it's not not over. It's taking a toll on families, infrastructure, and first responders.
ABC's Mola Lengi. South Florida is so hot the water is almost as warm as the air, 95 degrees or more. Illinois is set to become the first state to eliminate cash bail. Advocates saying keeping bail disproportionately affects people of color and the poor. This is ABC News.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit Optima.
All right, coming up this hour, we've got the council roundup and a review of last night's Springfield City Council meeting. Some good conversation all around, including the issue of should we go ahead and start forgiving debt for problem property owners? What about the library and the director and, the board that is supposed to help provide oversight of the library? We'll talk about that as well. Tons of stuff to get to from last night's Springfield City Council meeting. It's all brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to Head West. Their downtown location open for lunch. And don't forget about delivery, Head West Subs. All right, the Council Roundup coming your way next here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop at 7:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: Illinois residents may be entitled to cash payments as part of an upcoming settlement between the state and Instagram. The state filed a class action lawsuit alleging that Instagram and other platforms controlled by Meta violated the state's Biometric Information Privacy Act. Instagram allegedly collected and stored personal identifiers like fingerprints and facial recognition illegally, leading to the settlement worth $68.5 million. 23-year-old American soldier Travis King, who bolted across the border from South Korea to North Korea yesterday, is the first American known to be detained in the North in nearly 5 years. King had served time in a South Korean prison for assault and was being sent home to Fort Bliss, Texas, when he disappeared. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed King was likely now in North Korean custody. Taco Bell may now use the phrase Taco Tuesday in its advertising as competing fast food chain Taco John's abandoned its federal Taco Tuesday trademark. The decision came as the Wyoming-based chain faced mounting legal bills in defending the trademark. Instead, the company said it would donate $100 for each of its nearly 400 locations to a nonprofit for restaurant workers in crisis and challenged Taco Bell to do the same. Taco John's owned the right to use the Taco Tuesday name in commerce in every state except New Jersey, where it's still owned by Gregory's Restaurant and Bar in Summers Point. The Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum will hold a free event July 26th. Historian Lucas Morel will speak about the 1860 presidential campaign that saw Lincoln win his first election to national office. The Republicans' victory led directly to the secession of 11 states in the Civil War. The event can be seen live at the museum or online and requires registration in advance. Links can be found at WMAY.com. Your forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
When I commit to someone, I want them to commit back to me for, life.
That's why I love Verlo mattress. When you buy a Verlo, you get something nobody else offers, a commitment to helping you love your sleep for as long as you own your mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee. Those other places, you get a measly 60, 90, maybe 120 nights. Not even close, guys. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo. Listen, at Verlo Mattress, saving a lot on a comfortable mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee is easy. Why? Well, because we make our mattresses right at the store. Yeah, we cut out the middleman, and voila, you got it. We pass the savings directly onto you every day. So hurry in today to your local Verlo, where there are no middleman markups. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Not much rain in the forecast, although we still need it. Mix of sun and clouds with a high near 86 today. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. High near 90 tomorrow, low around 63. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Brain freeze! What is the magic that's in Snowbiz Shave Ice? How in the universe of all things can you take plain ice and transform it into a summer specialty? Where do these Snowbiz flavors come from? How long will your lips and tongue be purple? Snowbiz is ready for another taste bud chilling summer with the biggest Snowbiziest collection of flavors ever seen. And Tuesdays are buy one, get one free. Snowbiz. Snowbiz. Laurel, just west of MacArthur.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Greg Bishop and the Council Roundup.
And the Council Roundup brought to you each and every Wednesday by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. Their downtown location open for lunch, and don't forget about delivery. Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. Last night's Springfield City Council meeting starts, as it does a lot of times, with the Treasurer's Report. And here is Treasurer Colleen Redpath-Fager laying out how much tax dollars the city has in their coffers. Here she is laying out all the dollars and cents.
The Treasurer's Report for the corporate fund for the month of June, beginning balance $75,007,454. We took in total receipts of $19,468,750. We had total disbursements in the month of June totaling $25,934,386, which left the corporate fund ending balance in the month of June at $68,559,818. The ending balance in the general fund also included $19,473,940, which is the June ending balance of the ARPA money. Thank you. That concludes my report.
So that's the Treasurer's Report, giving you an idea of just how much money is in the coffers of Springfield City Council. And next we get up a contract report. So they hear from the treasurer, they hear from various other departments if there's other presentations, but they also get a contract report because there's a threshold that under, I think, $49,999.99. If the mayor spends on that amount, they don't have to get council approval. So they get a contract report laying out, things that cost less than $50,000 that the mayor made a decision to spend on. Here is Alderman Sean Gregory questioning one particular part of that contract report from last night.
We have a purchase for a 2023 Ford Bronco. What department is that going to?
That was for public works. I believe it was for one of their inspectors.
So that's a Ford Bronco? A 2023 Ford Bronco?
Yeah. It was part of, we had ordered I believe we had ordered a Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger?
Ford had notified the state contract that they had canceled all the Rangers, any production of them.
That's a Ford Ranger!
As part of our, as part of the supply chain issue, looking for a new unit wherever we could find, or a replacement unit wherever we could find. Because I believe Tim, you can help me. This is one of the units that seemingly broke down quite a bit, and they needed to replace it right away.
And what are the vehicles that they were using?
All right, get to the microphone.
Reliable, so they
get to the microphone.
A Bronco.
Tim, can you speak in the mic? Sorry, just so people at home can hear you.
So normally our inspectors, are we talking about our building inspectors, people who go out and do that? Normally they ride little vehicles for gas mileage, etc. I'm not understanding how a Ford Bronco is a...
Well, let me back up. It's possible I could have missed it. It may not be for an inspector. I will check on that and let you know what it's for, because it could be for engineering.
It looks like
else.
Budget Director Metzger may know.
No.
Oh, not on that. Never mind.
Yeah. So we'll.
Never mind.
All right. So still some unanswered questions there about this Ford Bronco they purchased when they say they couldn't get a Ford Ranger. So, yeah, interesting to see that conversation. And obviously, anytime an alderperson sees something on a contract report they're not too sure about, they ask questions, as Alderman Gregory did last night. Let's move on to the next issue, an ordinance about Napa and being the sole source for parts for the consolidated garage in Springfield City Council.
Came up. Good job. An ordinance authorizing acceptance of RFP VM 24-04 with Motor Parts and Equipment Corporation, DBA Napa Auto Parts, for a turnkey parts store operation for an amount not to exceed $5,850,000 from August 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2026 for the Office of Budget Management. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, actually, and I put in to speak,
I would request that we hold this ordinance in committee.
Okay.
Some questions. Second.
We have a motion to put this ordinance back to committee. We have a second. Any discussion on that?
So again, this was a $5 million contract. I'm sure there's tons of questions, but they've got a couple of weeks before the contract is supposed to be implemented. So we'll see if this comes back up next week during the committee of the whole. Next up, you've got an ordinance. It's on emergency passage, and this is coming from Alderman Sean Gregory. Here is the ordinance up for consideration last night on emergency passage.
341, an ordinance authorizing reduction of fines and costs owed to the city of Springfield in the amount of $38,505 for a total payment to the city in the amount of $7,530 to settle Sangamon County Circuit Court cases 19-MR-723 and 21-MR-1195, City of Springfield versus Julian Randall and Weed liens for 2321 South 14th Street for emergency passage. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2023-341 on emergency passage.
Well, we'll hear the debate about this, a measure on emergency passage to essentially alleviate debt from liens in the excess of tens of thousands of dollars. So Alderman Sean Gregory will talk about this. You'll hear some opposition from various other alder people, so stay tuned. That's coming up here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. The Council Roundup brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. All right, 7:17 now. Let's take a break, come back with more of the Council Roundup on WMAY. 717 with Culver's West on Wabash.
Do you have an ugly driveway? Is your driveway washed out, deteriorating, unfunctional, or maybe you just want to improve the looks of your home? Well, at Illinois Paving, we have the solution for you. Try decorative hot tar and chip, which is a fraction of the cost of asphalt. You can choose your own color of your new driveway, and we're usually in and out in a day. So call Cousin Bill and the crew at Illinois Paving today. ILPaving.com!
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
The 200 Club. No, it's not something you read about in the newspapers of some elite club overseas talking about, how they're going to control the world. No, the 200 Club's right here in your backyard, and you can join the 200 Club by helping out Mike Quimby and the guys at Green Hyundai sell more than 200 vehicles this month. Mike, how's it looking?
Greg, hey, we're moving right along, and vehicles are on their way in, and we've started this promotion or our goal, our Super Bowl, in full stride. It's fun for us. It's a Super Bowl for us. It's only been done once before, and we were the one that did it last August, 2007. So this year we're going for it again. It is the time for us to thin things out and get ready to move to Stanford Avenue, and our goal means you win big on a deal that we wouldn't normally take as we try to thin the herd out, as I say, here on Dirksen Parkway. We've got Palisades, we've got Santa Fe's. Voted number one by Motor Trend magazine, the Palisade, True Car. Also realized the Tucson for the best SUV under $30,000, sells for $28,000. The products are extraordinary, and they're all backed up by America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000 miles. So come on out and see us. Help us reach our goal of 200 and join the 200 Club on Dirksen Parkway in front of good old J.C. Penney's.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai. Have a great day.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
If you want a bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Back at it with the Council Roundup, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and we heard an emergency ordinance brought forward that would essentially forgive like $40,000 of debts that a property owner racked up from a whole host of different fines and lien put on the property. This measure up for emergency passage, the first that at least I've seen, and several other people also iterating that first that they've seen. Alderman Sean Gregory talks about why he needs this ordinance to be in place, and it's to help out a constituent that's looking to sell this property. Here's Alderman Sean Gregory.
This is a house over in Ward 2. This house has been vacant for many, many years. The person that bought it for back taxes, of course, not knowing, for a substantially low amount. And they have completed it over the time span. So with careful discussion with Corporation Counsel, it was decided that maybe the amount should be reduced, as there was all types of promises and things made, of course, before the administration change. With this court cases and things of that nature. So at this time, me and Corporation Counsel talked, and it was decided that the fair amount would be for what the city has in cost as far as sending our inspectors, taking care of the property and the liens and fines.
So again, Alderman Gregory saying that he wants to move forward with this on emergency passage. Here's the Corporation Counsel, Murdoch, talking about the how we got to this point. Again, Corporation Counsel Murdoch.
There were per diem fines, so there were fines accruing per day. This case began in April of 2019. We took final judgment in August of 2019. So the property was accruing several $100s worth of violations per day, which is how it got up to the $46,000 approximate fine amount.
So was it just because of weeds and trash, or what exactly was the fine? What's the violations?
No, there are actually 3 different cases that this ordinance is addressing. So there were several property violations that were occurring, violations of the building code. So exterior structure violations separate from your weed and grass trimming.
So a lot of different things stacking on top of each other, leading to $40,000+ worth of fines and a lien on the property. And then you have other alder people. Brad Carlson, he chimed in to raise concern about this setting a certain type of precedent at the city council.
Because from reading this, my understanding, $38,000, they're getting for $75,000, so we're forgiving roughly $31,000 in debt.
No, we're actually forgiving the $38,505. That's the actual.
So even more. Okay, $4 to $7,500. Okay.
So, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars being forgiven here if this ultimately passes. Alderwoman Conley raising questions about this and what's ultimately happening with this particular ordinance on emergency passage.
I think this is exactly the kind of situation where we as a council should be recognize that things have changed, reward someone who is making an effort to improve the neighborhood, and I very much support and encourage us to use this kind of a model for a situation like this. So thank you very much for bringing this forward. I look forward to voting for this.
Right. So Alderman Sean Gregory again lays out some of the things he believes is important about this passing and getting this off of the lien rolls and actually have it be a tax generator. Here is Alderman Gregory.
We have a terrible development in my ward that has.
That's Alderman Donnellan. Let me get Alderman Gregory lined up here. Here's more from Alderman Sean Gregory about this particular ordinance.
This is a house that a guy bought for $5,000. $5,000. So he bought a house that he had no clue of the amount of extensive work that it needed. He had various as Corporation Counsel said to really fix the house, and with money and finances, it took a little while, and we had to do what we had to do to make him show. For whatever reason, people miss things, but I will say that we got one or two options. We can hold the lien to the house and take the house or whatever, and or we can grant this, let this house be sold and get a family in it. And help improve the neighborhood. That's the two choices. I totally understand, and
And you have concerns, obviously, that other people have brought forward, including Alderman Donnellan, who raised concerns about this entire issue.
We have a project, and I should say we have a terrible development in my ward that has significant fines, well over $500,000. And my concern is that we walk down, even though this is not apples to apples, I admit that. It's a completely different set of circumstances. But we have, in my ward, we have a development where they have not kept it up. They started to make improvements. They had deadlines, didn't meet the deadlines. Now we're taking them to court, and it's a terrible mess, a terrible eyesore for the neighborhood. And I caution us getting into the habit of starting to forgive anything, because we got to hold. I mean, this is. And I don't mean to be preachy, I'm really not, but this is the kind of thing that we complain all the time about at the Horseshoe of property owners not keeping their properties up, not doing their share. We obviously have a property owner here that's demonstrated they've made the improvements. I'm happy to see that. But for the ones that haven't fixed up the properties and aren't willing to cooperate, aren't willing to demonstrate that they want to see Springfield better, we cannot forgive those. So. I talked to somebody about this earlier today about what I was going to do, because we didn't talk about it, Alderman, but this conversation has helped me make up my mind this evening, so thank you.
So we'll hear more coming up about this ordinance on emergency passage with the council roundup next here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. All right, 7:31 now. Let's get a check of some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, 23-year-old American soldier Travis King, who bolted across the border from South Korea to North Korea yesterday, is the first American known to be detained in the North in nearly 5 years. King had served time in a South Korean prison for assault and was being sent home to Fort Bliss, Texas, when he disappeared. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed King was now likely in North Korean custody. Illinois residents may be entitled to cash payments as part of an upcoming settlement between the state and Instagram. The state filed a class action lawsuit alleging that Instagram and other platforms controlled by Meta violated the state's Biometric Information Privacy Act. Instagram allegedly collected and stored personal identifiers like fingerprints and facial recognition illegally, leading to the settlement worth $68.5 million. Borderless Magazine and Block Club Chicago have received high praise from the Los Angeles Times and others for their series of articles on migrants in Chicago called After the Buses. The two organizations collaborated to tell the stories of migrants bused to the Windy City by Republican governors and those migrants' efforts to become productive members of American society. The largest portion of the migrants are from Venezuela, many of whom are in the country legally seeking asylum. The Illinois Supreme Court moved yesterday without comment to suspend the law licenses of ComEd for defendants Ann Pramaggiore and Michael McLean. Pramaggiore, former CEO of Commonwealth Edison, and former company lobbyist McLean were convicted of bribery, along with ComEd lobbyists John Hooker and Jay Doherty. Taco Bell may now use the phrase Taco Tuesday in its advertising, as competing fast food chain Taco John's abandoned its federal Taco Tuesday trademark. The decision came as the Wyoming-based chain faced mounting legal bills in defending the trademark. Instead, the company said it would donate $100 for each of its nearly 400 locations to a nonprofit for restaurant workers in crisis and challenged Taco Bell to do the same. Taco John's owned the right to use the Taco Tuesday name in commerce in every state except New Jersey, where it's still owned by Gregory's Restaurant and Bar in Summers Point. The Illinois Supreme Court has upheld the Safety Act. The new law was passed after the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Pretrial Practices strongly endorsed bail reform, noting that a defendant who can't afford bail sees his or life unravel within days from loss of a job, loss of child custody, or health problems without access to medication. The commission found that cash bail tends to generate spurious plea deals as defendants plead to a lower-level offense to get out of jail sooner. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
WMAY News, brought to you by The Inn at 835. Let The Inn at 835 handle your next business or social gathering with style.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Oh, I'm sleeping so hot.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm on fire. Send help. Finally. chilly. Can you help?
For the last time, ma'am, turn your thermostat below 90 degrees, stop cuddling up next to this bear, and take the plastic cover off and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
During Burlow's Sleep Cool sale, we're offering discounts on our firm, plush, pillow top, and hybrid V7 through V11 sets. On top of our discounts, we're giving you a free Cool Contact mattress protector, a set of cotton or bamboo sheets, or 2 of our Verlo gel pillows. Pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and save even more. So beat the heat this summer and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
Ah, thanks, Verlo.
Verlo mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Miss an interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Not much rain in the forecast, although we still need it. Mix of sun and clouds with a high near 86 today. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. High near 90 tomorrow, low around 63. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
What are you hungry for?
Obed and Isaac sounds good.
They're always busy.
Yeah, they are. It's because the food is great. The selection of craft beer is amazing, and it's downtown. It couldn't be in a better location.
What if we have to wait?
We'll put in our name, give them our number to text us when our table is ready, and then go next door to the 7th Street Cidery and start there.
I like the way you think. They serve meads too, right?
Yeah, they do. You can get your mead, and I'll start with a flight of cider. They're constantly getting new ciders on tap all the time.
What if Obed's isn't busy and they seat us right away?
The cidery doesn't close till 11, so we can just finish the night there.
You've got this all figured out, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You should see my reward points that I've built up.
So, you're buying, right?
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
No, you didn't.
Obed and Isaac's Microbrewery, located in downtown Springfield, right next door to the 7th Street Cidery. Enjoy.
Your son was 3 when you planted that tree in your backyard. Now he's grown, planting seeds and making memories with his own kids. Let Heartland Bank help you grow more memories with banking options for every stage of your life. Welcome, former Town and Country Bank customers. We're your community bank, Heartland Bank. We build relationships that nurture and grow your dreams. Visit us today at hbtbank.com. Member FDIC.
Barcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company, right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Back with the Council Roundup. Brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. Their downtown location open for lunch. And don't forget about delivery. Head West Subs. Let's get back into the Council Roundup. Up on emergency passage was an ordinance that would alleviate the debt of around $40,000+ for a property owner, single family dwelling that they're looking to sell, but they got a lien against the property because of fines stacked on top of fines over years, and they came to some resolution, but it's up on emergency passage. Larry Rockford, a new alderman on the city council, he had questions as to, has the city council ever seen something like this before?
As a new alderman, is this the first time we've heard about this case? I mean, this is a new ordinance, and it's been going on since 2019. So my question is, you know, here it is going on 4 years, and we're just now coming to an agreement. I mean, whether it's past administration or whoever, I mean, shouldn't this been addressed sooner rather than now?
But do you want me to answer that?
Anybody. I'm just asking, as new alderwomen, I mean, this started in 2019, and now we're going to have to decide on.
They don't come to council.
It's my understanding that my office would not bring these types of settlements to the city council.
I think it's in front of you because the mayor wouldn't waive the fees.
Actually, Mayor?
And the mayor has.
Well, I think when he did waive fees,
I mean this mayor, sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, we were talking old administrations and stuff, and I'm kind of confused why this 2019's been going on, and here it is 2023, and we're still talking about it.
Just so you know, Alderman, I have requested from Corporation Council that an ordinance be drafted that any debt over $15,000 comes to council. So this would be a typical thing from that point forward, sir.
So again, Mayor Misty Buscher, new in the office, saying that the previous administration may have forgiven debt, but her administration is not going to do that unilaterally, and that's why they have this in front of them. Now you've got the Alderman Ralph Hanauer chiming in on this as well with his concerns as to where this could be headed.
I applaud the guy for what he did. I appreciate it, but I'm very concerned about what this does going forward.
If
I'm
I
very
may follow
concerned
up,
about it.
I would say though, for their apartments, and I have some in my ward too. If the one on Monroe ever gets fixed to the point when it gets fixed, as it's supposed to, we should look at something to get it rolling, get the lien off, and get people living in it. We have a shortage on affordable homes, all types of stuff. We want them to get it fixed. The city doesn't want the property. We don't want the properties. We want to nudge them to get it fixed.
So, yeah, I think that's a good point. You got to get this thing fixed. You got to get it off the tax liens, and then you got to be able to move forward and get a family into that property so that it can start generating tax revenue. More from Alderman Sean Gregory.
I'm right along with you. We want the houses. We've lowered our vacant housing registry and added a little wiggle room for people to get it fixed because we want them fixed quickly, and we're going to have these situations. This is administration difference. It was once upon a time, a previous mayor would make these choices, but this is something that we gotta come out and make these choices. And when those get fixed, I wanted to look at that and stand with our colleagues. So
next up, you've got Alderman Brad Carlson, who's raising concerns as well as to the precedent that this sets if they do move forward with such an idea.
I think it's admirable. I mean, I think we all want, property owners to fix their property and be able to sell it. But to me, I'm just concerned that, it's him personally who racked it up, and now he's sort of asking for some forgiveness.
But he may have not racked it up if he doesn't buy a house that's already been 3 years vacant. Yeah. Okay. That's more so what I'm saying.
Okay. Thanks.
Alderman Connolly also chiming in, talking about how she likes this idea.
What the precedent that's being set tonight is that there are clear questions and concerns around the horseshoe about how we examine debt forgiveness, especially in something like housing issues, that we are not looking at setting a firm, fast rule that anything that gets improved gets forgiven. What we are doing instead is saying that this is a case-by-case basis. And Mayor, you and I have talked about the fact that you are planning to bring an ordinance where any debt forgiveness will come before this council. So it is something that we as a council will be seeing, and we will be having these conversations, and I think they're healthy conversations for us to have.
So now it's time for the vote. How did the vote do? It's emergency passage, so it has to have the mayor voting on it, but Mayor Misty Buscher.
And the motion fails with 5 voting yes, 3 voting no, and
Mayor,
3 voting
point of parliamentary procedure,
Yes,
does that
Voting
mean
present.
the ordinance now goes through the committee process?
Yes, it does.
Corporation Council.
So ultimately, we could hear this again come up where you might be able to convince at least one other alderperson to get on board and put it over that 6th vote threshold. So we'll be watching that closely to see if that is ultimately what happens with this ordinance. All right. Moving on, we've got an executive session that was called in the middle of the meeting, and the session, they go behind closed doors and they deal with things. What exactly is going on here? Let's hear it.
At this time, I am going to ask that we could go out of order for a moment. Okay.
Make the motion, we go into executive session for
Thank you.
probable
2C11 and 2C23 that's pending improbable litigation and operation of a municipal utility.
Second.
All right, so
The
some
motion
kind of lawsuit against the utility. I guess we'll see where that ultimately goes. So that was, only about a 4-minute executive session or so last night. But then they got right back on into it, and it was time for new and unfinished business. Alderwoman Notoriano wanted to address the controversy around the YMCA and the news conference we saw last week and the national headlines that we saw last week about a minor girl being uncomfortable in a YMCA facility with a transgender adult in there while minor children are changing. Here's Jennifer Notoriano.
Last week, a small group of politicians traveled to Springfield, some going more than 100 miles out of their way to single out people in our community and to target the employees, administration, and members of our YMCA for public harassment. This effort to sow discord was simply intended to generate headlines and more clicks. So rather than giving these outside agitators the attention they craved when they came to Springfield to promote themselves, I choose to celebrate the ways, large and small, in which our YMCA, our city, and all of us who call Springfield home support one another. We all appreciate that the Y strives to offer a welcoming space, so I choose to highlight the staff, the administration, and the members who make it that way, rather than the politicians who traveled more than 100 miles out of their way to use our community as a backdrop for their manufactured outrage.
I don't know if it was manufactured outrage. I mean, you had a minor girl concerned that she was having to change in a locker room with a transgender adult. That's the crux of the issue here. And again, I asked the Y for comments as to, why they are elevating the concerns of a transgender adult over the concerns of safety from a adolescent, but we have yet to get back that particular statement in response. So who knows? We may hear more about that story in the future. The mayor wanted to make sure she highlighted an event coming up that includes the YMCA.
I want to share that instead of a food drive, there is a storm recovery food bundle people can go get. It is a partnership with Central Illinois Food Bank, Hy-Vee, Target, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and the YMCA. It will be held tomorrow, Wednesday, July 19th, from 6 to 7 p.m. at the downtown YMCA at 601 North 4th. It's a drive-up facility. They will have a bundle of food, and inside the box will be dairy, protein, and produce, which people would have lost during the storms. Again, this partnership is brought to you by Central Illinois Food Bank, Hy-Vee, Target, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and the YMCA. It's tomorrow, July 19th, from 6 to 7 p.m. at the YMCA on 601 North 4th. It's one box per household, but they will just have you drive through and you will get food that you can replenish that was lost in the storm.
So good thing going on there. Of course, the storm, still people recovering from that, and good to have the community come together, all kinds of different organizations to make that happen. Now it's time for citizens to address the council, and Jeff Pettis is from the Lincoln Library, the public library for the city, and he wanted to make sure that the Board of Trustees were having their voice heard. So there's a letter that they unanimously passed, and he wanted to read that to Springfield Aldermen last night.
Library Trustee Manual states that we have a legal and fiduciary obligation to ensure that our public library provides the highest quality service. We feel that these standards have not been met and that our hands have been tied in several important matters with the Lincoln Library since at least the year 2017. The pattern that began with the hiring of Willow Hearn continued with the hiring and subsequent firing of Rochelle Hartman and culminated in the firings of Summer Griffith and Hillary Raines. This is in no way typical and should not be treated as such. The truth is, no library director in Springfield's history had ever been fired by a mayor prior to last year. In the 137-year history of Lincoln Library, there have been just 12 library directors. 4 of those 12 held their positions in only the last 6 years. Since the library's conception, the Board of Trustees has had significant responsibilities and oversight over the public library and was a respected part of city planning. That all began to change in 2017, the reason for which we have been unable to find. Since 2017, the board has had absolutely no involvement in decisions with library administration.
Jeff continued reading from the letter about concerns that the Board of Trustees has moving forward.
The past 3 directors were hired with absolutely no involvement by the board, and the past 2 directors were fired without the board being given a courtesy notice. Again, it is unclear why this change occurred, but the pattern of disrespect and disregard for the board has continued to a point where we now question what our role is. As such, we feel it is appropriate to examine the board's role within the function of the library and work with City Council to more clearly delineate duties in a way that respects the positions to which we were appointed. We have looked at libraries around Illinois with similar population densities as Springfield, Bloomington, Decatur, Champaign, Peoria. All of them have a layer of insulation that protects them from the political shakeups that come from changes in city administration.
And final thought here from Jeff last night in front of the Springfield City Council talking about the library.
Comply with the city code and the board's bylaws with respect to the board's role in hiring the next library executive director and any subsequent director. We propose that the library board members be given all of the following prior to any decision being made. 1, the resumes and cover letters of all applicants for the position. 2, the opportunity to interview said applicants. And 3, the opportunity to recommend applicants to be hired to the mayor and the city council. The board wants to work with you to help find a solution to this situation, and we are encouraged after speaking with Corporation Council that this administration is open to working with us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, there you go. Some comments from Jeff. And full disclosure, I've been in multiple murder mysteries with Jeff, so it was good to see him last night in front of the City Council. And that's your Council Roundup, brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. Their downtown location open for lunch, Head West Subs. All right, that's all we got for you on the Council Roundup. Coming back, we'll wrap up this hour with the latest on Trump. And then we've got the Citizens Club. We'll conversate with them about an upcoming event. We'll talk with the Business Journal to get the latest on Springfield business. And then full disclosure with the Better Government Association. We'll tackle a whole bunch of stuff. So stay tuned. It's all coming up here on WMAY, now 752 from Culver's West on Wabash.
When I commit to someone, I want them to commit back to me for, life. That's why I love Verlo mattress. When you buy a Verlo, you get something nobody else offers, a commitment to helping you love your sleep for as long as you own your mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee. Those other places, you get a measly 60, 90, maybe 120 nights. Not even close, guys. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo. Listen, at Verlo Mattress, saving a lot on a comfortable mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee is easy. Why? Well, because we make our mattresses right at the store. Yeah, we cut out the middleman, and voila, you got it. We pass the savings directly on to you every day. So hurry in today to your local Verlo, where there are no middleman markups. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Country music superstars are taking the Illinois Lottery Grandstand stage at this year's Illinois State Fair. Kicking it all off is record-breaking award winners Old Dominion on Friday night, August 11th, with special guest Alexandra Kay.
I don't want to be one man band.
Megastar Tim McGraw hits the stage on Thursday night, August 17th, with special guest Landon Parker.
Always stay humble and kind.
And Grammy winner Maren Morris will bring hit after hit on Saturday night, August 19th.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle?
Tickets are on sale now 24/7 at Ticketmaster.com, the Ticketmaster app, or at the Grandstand ticket office during regular business hours. And don't forget to add your pre-show party tickets for only $30. Party before the show and be the first ones into the Grandstand. Act now. Don't miss these country powerhouses at the 2023 Illinois State Fair, August 10th through the 20th.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
They may have told you it can't be done. You may think there is no way to do it, but at Rex Battery, changing an iPhone battery is a piece of cake. It's true, many iPhone models have batteries that can be replaced. And if yours is still working fine except for the battery, don't get rid of it, replace it. We have the tools and the right battery to put extra life in an old iPhone. If your iPhone has a dreaded crack down the screen, we can fix that too. For decades, Rex Battery has been finding the right battery to get the job done. Big, small, and hard to get to. iPhone batteries can be replaced in many of the models so you can have more talk time, more selfie time, and more time to learn that TikTok dance. New batteries and broken screen repair now available at Rex Battery. From the tiniest hearing aids to the biggest farm equipment, nobody knows batteries better than Rex. Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power. If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, how much more do you think former President Donald Trump's poll numbers are going to go up after he gets another indictment? Pretty incredible times we're in, and I don't think you can downplay the significance of this from any side of the political equation that you come from. The fact that a former president is facing all of these indictments either shows that he is corrupt to the bone, or that the Biden DOJ and Democrat prosecutors across the country are trying everything they can to get Donald Trump. So the latest in this case is that apparently federal prosecutors have Donald Trump as a key target in their investigation of January 6th. Does that mean that, he's going to be cited for inciting a riot? Is he going to be cited for inciting a, quote, insurrection? Or is it going to be about what's going on, down the call down in Georgia about finding votes and so on? So this is clearly something I think is, as we head into the 2024 election cycle, there's going to be a lot of gut checks, and people are going to have to dig deep. Are we in this new era of political opponents facing prosecution and persecution, or is this because Trump is corrupt to the bone? So these are trying times, and we'll see what happens here in the months ahead as you've got the debates for the Republican primary expected. You've got the primary elections that are going to be dropping into place all throughout the early part of next year, and then the November election. What happens here? So pretty wild times. All right, stay tuned. Coming back, we'll talk about the Springfield Citizens Club, and we'll talk with the Springfield Business Journal, and full disclosure coming up right now. It's 8 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Wynn.
Historic heat blanketing western and southern states. Phoenix clocking 19 days straight at 110 degrees or more. Vegas marking 5 at 110 or above. And in Florida, the water temperature is almost as warm as the air, 95 degrees or hotter.
Heat records falling like dominoes around the country. From El Paso, Texas, 33 straight days at 100 or better, to Miami, where it's felt like 105 or worse for 16 straight days. Heat domes, large areas of high pressure, are sending temperatures scorching over North America, the Atlantic, and Europe.
ABC's Mola Lengi. A witness says she was shocked to see an American soldier running into the demilitarized zone separating North and South Korea.
US and South Korean soldiers sort of realized what was happening, chased after him, yelled at us to sort of get in the building on the South Korean side, so we all ran in.
Tourist Sarah Leslie. 23-year-old Army Private Travis King captured by the North. He had just been released from South Korea and was supposed to be headed back to the U.S. to face possible military charges, but apparently decided to flee into North Korea instead. Former President Trump could be indicted again as soon as Friday after receiving an official target letter saying he's the focus of a federal January 6th investigation.
This is about more than the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Prosecutors are examining whether Trump illegally tried to overturn an election that he knew he lost. Sources familiar with the target letter Trump received from special counsel Jack Smith tell ABC News it mentions 3 federal statutes: conspiracy to defraud the U.S., witness tampering, and, quote, deprivation of rights under the color of law, which applies when someone in authority uses their power to deny the constitutional rights of other Americans.
ABC's Jonathan Karl. The CDC saying cocaine and opioid overdose deaths in the U.S. increased 7-fold from 2011 to 2021. This is ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article, or sensitive personal information about your family. Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff, so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Coming up this hour, we'll talk with David Greising from the Better Government Association for full disclosure. That'll be after 8:30 this morning. Tons to talk about, from the ComEd case being dropped to the Safety Act being upheld to migrant health care costs and Governor Pritzker over in the UK. So we'll hit on all of those things. Up next, though, we've got conversation with the Springfield Business Journal. But first, we'll check in with the Citizens Club of Springfield about an upcoming conversation they have with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher. So stay tuned. We'll get to that next here on WMAY. It's now 8:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Illinois Supreme Court has upheld the Safety Act. The new law was passed after the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Pretrial Practices strongly endorsed bail reform, noting that a defendant who can't afford bail sees his or her life unravel within days from loss of a job, loss of child custody, or health problems without access to medication. The commission found that cash bail tends to generate spurious plea deals as defendants plead to a lower-level offense to get out of jail sooner. The Illinois Supreme Court moved yesterday without comment to suspend the law licenses of ComEd for defendants Ann Pramaggiore and Michael McLean. Pramaggiore, former CEO of Commonwealth Edison, and former company lobbyist McLean were convicted of bribery, along with ComEd lobbyist John Hooker and Jay Doherty. Taco Bell may now use the phrase Taco Tuesday in its advertising, as competing fast food chain Taco John's abandoned its federal Taco Tuesday trademark. The decision came as the Wyoming-based chain faced mounting legal bills in defending the trademark. Instead, the company said it would donate $100 for each of its nearly 400 locations to a nonprofit for restaurant workers in crisis and challenged Taco Bell to do the same. Taco John's owned the right to use the Taco Tuesday name in commerce in every state except New Jersey, where it's still owned by Gregory's Restaurant and Bar in Summers Point. Illinois residents may be entitled to cash payments as part of an upcoming settlement between the state and Instagram. The state filed a class action lawsuit alleging that Instagram and other platforms controlled by Meta violated the state's Biometric Information Privacy Act. Instagram allegedly collected and stored personal identifiers like fingerprints and facial recognition illegally, leading to the settlement worth $68.5 million. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With a virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Not much rain in the forecast, although we still need it. Mix of sun and clouds with a high near 86 today. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. High near 90 tomorrow, low around 63. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power.
For over a decade,
SimpliSafe has revolutionized home security, and our latest advancement is here, 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The Citizens Club of Springfield is a great organization that allows for you, the citizens of Springfield, to talk policy and to get the latest on what's happening in and around the area of Springfield. And joining us right now to talk about an upcoming forum they've got with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher, John Kelker with the Citizens Club of Springfield with us. Good morning, John. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Greg. I'm fine.
Good to hear. So, of course, Misty Buscher has been mayor of the city of Springfield for 2 months, and she's got one disaster under her belt so far. I take it that's going to dominate a lot of the conversation, but what else are you guys going to tackle?
We certainly are going to ask about the storm and the city's response, but this had really been scheduled before that, so that's not the primary focus. We really want to look at what the new mayor's priorities are for the city, and ask what some of our expectations should be in terms of what's coming in the next 4 years.
So obviously, a new administration comes with new directors and a new focus. Last night, we already heard a little bit of a change of direction when it comes to a measure that was brought forward to relieve the debt that's on a particular property that a property owner racked up in fines and fees and a lien on the property. And Mayor Misty Buscher said, hey, the previous administration would do this unilaterally, but any debt forgiveness under the Buscher administration is going to deal with allowing for the city council to have a say in this type of debt forgiveness. I imagine there's a whole host of other things. What are some of the topics you plan on broaching?
We certainly want to talk about the downtown area, and that's vital to our community. Would like to hear her thoughts, not only on downtown, but economic development in totality. What would make it easier for developers? What would make it easier, or how can our community work towards bringing major employment to the community? Want to talk about some diversity issues. I know this is something she's interested and wants to be involved with, and that includes with our postgraduate educational institutions. We'd love to see more young people stay in Springfield, and I'd be curious if the mayor has people on her team with a similar interest.
Yeah, when we talk about economic development, John, there seems to be a lot of focus on the medical district and encouraging more investment there. I've always heard, though, from residents, they want to see more manufacturing. What are some of the other industries you think that Mayor Buscher at least has indicated that we could see invest in Springfield?
I don't know any specifics, but I've lived in Springfield now for 27 years. The fact that we're at the intersection of 72 and 55 in the center of the United States, I've just always wondered why we wouldn't have more manufacturing, something to complement our agricultural business. And more, we know that not everyone is choosing to go on to college and get a 4-year degree. So what are the kind of corporations or economic development that could come that also, lifts the entire community in terms of our employment and our income?
John Kelker with us. He is president of the Citizens Club of Springfield, talking about an upcoming forum that they're going to have with Mayor Misty Buscher, the mayor of Springfield. Give us the details on that. When should people head over to the Hoagland Center for the Arts?
The program, we host something the fourth Friday of every month. So this month in July, it's the 28th. We have coffee out starting at 7:30. The program starts promptly at 8, and we are out of there by 9. Certainly there are people who will stay and have conversations, but if you're on your way to work or can stop in quickly before you get your day started, we would love to have more people. If I can, this is a voluntary effort, but we do encourage, and I will invite people to join us. It's only $30 a year, and that simply helps us make sure that we have the infrastructure at the Hoagland to bring these wonderful programs each month.
And these programs definitely important when it comes to the conversations being had about policies impacting the city of Springfield. Talk about some of the previous forums you guys have held and the important conversations that are being had.
Sure. And many of us, if you drive anywhere downtown, you know that the Capitol is being redeveloped. We had a full presentation from the architect down there. She presented what that new facility is going to look like, the new security, the impact it's going to have on Springfield. That was outstanding. Just last month, again, before we had a real disaster here in Springfield, we had our fire department present a what if scenario. And in that case, it was a what if an oil tanker is in an accident on I-55 near the intersection with Stevenson Drive. Just for instance, because we know of how many chemicals and different things go down 55. That was outstanding to see the level our police and fire department are prepared to go to. It's really wide ranging. We had 2 months ago the changes in media. Where do people get local media? Because we've seen, coverage reduced from newspapers and different things. So things that are on people's minds.
No question. And John, if people can't make the presentation coming up with the Citizens Club of Springfield, or if they want to be able to find previous conversations that the Citizens Club's had, where can they access those?
They can access them on our Facebook page. They can also contact us via email if they're interested. But I want to throw a compliment out to the city of Springfield. For a number of years, they actually record our programs and they make them available on their cable network. Periodically, they rotate them in. But that's what we use. And if you come to our Facebook page, you'll be able to see all of the previous programs and catch up on things. And again, the one on the Capitol was very interesting. And also almost a year ago, we're aware of what the city's going to do for the Route 66 celebration that doesn't take place till 2026. But that program from our director, Scott Dahl, was very enjoyable.
So obviously a lot of good, important conversations to be had. The Citizens Club of Springfield, John Kelker's president. Tell us where we can get more information and where people can sign up to join.
If you would, the easiest is to email us, and I'm going to give that email address, citizensclubofspringfield@gmail.com. Let us know you're interested. We'll add you to our email list, and you'll get updates on what activities the club has and how you can come and enjoy.
John Kelker with the Citizens Club of Springfield, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us today. Good luck in that forum with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher. Give us the date and time one last time here.
One last time, July 28th, we are at the Hoagland Center for the Arts. Coffee at 7:30. The program starts at 8 a.m.
John Kelker, greatly appreciated. Thanks so much, and best of luck. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And stay tuned. We've got full disclosure with the Better Government Association. We also have the Springfield Business Journal set to join us next here, all right? 8:18 into 8:19 from Culver's West on Wabash.
The Levitt Amp Springfield Music Series presented by PNC Bank. This Thursday, live downtown, featuring Solista Gabriel and La Sonora Dinamita. It's an absolutely free celebration of music every Thursday at 6 p.m. on the lawn at South 4th and Jackson Streets. Ride easy on SMTD to the Levitt Amp concerts. Thank you to series sponsors, Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln, Illinois Realtors, U.S. Bank, Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum, MSFNW, Memorial Health, Springfield Clinic, and Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance. Full schedule at levittampspringfield.org. Midwest Family is a proud media sponsor of the Levitt Amp Springfield Music Series.
Summertime, and the mechanics are working. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hello, Lauderback Man, basking in another warm Illinois summer. With my big knot the sun, I'm more than most up to work, sweaty and mad. With it, you enjoy your drive and are nice to puppies. So why not come see our guys at Lauderback and let them do an AC checkup? It's no easy thing taking the Illinois heat and turning it into a cool breeze in your car. Lots of hoses and parts make that work. They'll get in there, make sure everything is working right, and fix the stuff that needs a good fixin'. When you push the air conditioning button in your car, a magical breeze of icy air will come right at your face. And isn't that what you really want? Of course it is. I'm not even gonna wait for you to answer. Lauderback Man here at Lauderback Tire on Wabash. Drive cool. Now.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIMO for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIMO for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIMO.
Oh, I'm sleeping so hot.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm on fire! Send help! Finally, can you help?
For the last time, ma'am, turn your thermostat below 90 degrees, stop cuddling up next to this bear, and take the plastic cover off and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
During Verlo's Sleep Cool sale, we're offering discounts on our firm, plush, pillow top, and hybrid V7 through V11 sets. On top of our discounts, we're giving you a free Cool Contact mattress protector, a set of cotton or bamboo sheets, or 2 of our Verlo gel pillows. Pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and save even more. So beat the heat this summer and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
Ah, thanks, Verlo.
Verlo mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep
for less.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, let's now check in with the Springfield Business Journal publisher, Michelle Ownby, with some exciting things to talk about. As always, each and every week, we connect to talk about business in the 217. Michelle, thanks for taking time with us this morning. There's tons to get to, and I want to kind of, you got some things lined out here, but I want to start with the Wyndham City Center and what's going on there. Of course, a lot of talk about what happened during the Langfelder administration, multiple plans coming forward, alder people not too happy with this, but what's the latest here, and what can we expect with the Bush administration?
Right. Good morning, Greg. I'm sure you covered this topic extensively through your various city council roundups, because the owner, Al Rajabi, has been to the council so many times I've lost count at this point, and he's not very happy about it, as he expressed during his most recent appearance. But if you'll recall, that was in the waning days of the Langfelder administration, and the decision was made to postpone any kind of vote on the project, or incentives for the project, I should say, until Mayor Missy Buscher took office. But she said that they have not heard one way or another from Al Rajabi at this point. But her math pencils out a little bit differently than former Mayor Langfelder's. So previously, there was a little over $18 million in various tax-related incentives that Mayor Langfelder was offering to the owner of the Wyndham for his redevelopment project. But Mayor Buscher says that when she pencils it out, she comes up with about $9 or $10 million available through a combination of property, hotel, motel, and sales tax incentives. So they're not sure if Al Rajabi is not responding because he isn't pleased with the new math, so to speak, or if he's still weighing his options and working with the bank. Kind of a question mark at this point, but that's certainly a very significant property for downtown and also for Springfield as a whole.
Yeah, no question. And then if it does change to more residential units versus hotel units, what does that do to the possible, conventions that can come to Springfield and having enough heads in beds, so to speak? So we'll be obviously watching that closely and appreciate the Springfield Business Journal staying up to date as to what goes on there. Michelle, next up, let's talk about a new eatery, Big Sharks. What is this all about?
Yes, everybody loves a new restaurant, Big Sharks Fish and Chicken. This is going to be at 330 South Grand Avenue, and a lot of folks may remember it as Nikki's Homestyle Cafe, which was pretty popular before she had a falling out with her business partner, and that restaurant closed, and then it was Audie's Cafe and Gaming for a brief time, but it's been vacant for a year or so. And Saj Kotoram, who is in charge of this new restaurant, he actually has 4 restaurants in Decatur, which is where he's from. 2 of them operating as Big Sharks, and 2 of them operating other brand names, and a couple more in the works in Champaign. So he's got a pretty good track record, and he says despite the name, only about 50% of their business is fish and chicken. He says their burgers and sandwiches are often very popular, with the Philly cheesesteak being a bestseller. So they do a lot of carry-out orders, but they'll also have a dine-in area as well.
But no shark.
No shark. No fish, chicken. No shark. Sorry to disappoint.
Have you ever had shark?
I can't say that I have. I'm really not that adventurous with my eating. I'm more of a pork tenderloin kind of girl.
Well, I'll tell you, I have had shark freshly pulled out of the ocean. My brother is a shark fisherman as a hobby when he can get to the ocean, and it's interesting. Let's just put it that way. A little bit. You need a lot of lemon. Let's just make sure that's clear.
It's a very unique hobby.
It's a very unique hobby. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience, and going out in the middle of the ocean with a kayak 40, 50 feet, if not more, from the shoreline. It's crazy. All right, anyways, let's move on to Isringhausen. What do they got going on?
Well, you may remember last year they launched their Drive grant, and the Wakery received the $20,000 from the first round to open up a new business downtown, which seems to be very popular by all accounts. So Isringhausen is doing it again. They're looking for a business. It could be a startup business or an existing business that's just looking to either relocate or expand to downtown. Of course, since that's where Isringhausen is located, that's their focus is on helping to revitalize the downtown area. So they are accepting applications through August 18th for that. So if you are an entrepreneur or a relatively new business looking to grow, some really good opportunity here.
And finally, Michelle, before we get to this last item about a well-known figure in politics looking to move on to a new career, let's tell people how they can get a copy of the Springfield Business Journal.
Sure. If you get on our website at springfieldbusinessjournal.com, you can sign up for BizBites. That's our weekly newsletter. Comes out every Wednesday afternoon, and it's free of charge with a roundup of what's happening in the area business community. Or, of course, for just $35 a year, you can sign up to get the print edition delivered directly to your home or office.
All right. So make sure you make that happen so you can stay plugged in with what's going on in and around the Springfield business community with the Springfield Business Journal. And let's finish up today, Michelle, with, I guess, an ode to Paul Palazzolo, who is moving on to bigger and better things after years in Republican politics here locally.
Yes, certainly very well known here in Springfield, has held a variety of elected offices, starting with the Springfield Park District in 2001, currently the Sangamon County Circuit Clerk. He was reelected to that position in 2020, but he is going to be stepping down soon and becoming the Executive Director of Kiwanis International, which is based out of Indianapolis. Although he will remain a Springfield resident, he's just going to split his time. It's quite a commute, but he's going to split his time between Indianapolis and Springfield. And of course, anybody that knows Paul knows that he has been very involved in Kiwanis. He says really even since his student days. So logical outcome for him. But he will still be a familiar face around the Springfield area, just taking on a new role around elected office at this point.
Best of luck and Godspeed to Paul Palazzolo. Greatly appreciate your time as always. Michelle Ownby, publisher of the Springfield Business Journal. We'll talk again next week.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and much more coming up. Stay tuned. We got Full Disclosure with the Better Government Association coming your way next on WMAY. Now, 8:31. Let's get a check of headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, 23-year-old American soldier Travis King, who bolted across the border from South Korea to North Korea yesterday, is the first American known to be detained in the North in nearly 5 years. King had served time in a South Korean prison for assault and was being sent home to Fort Bliss, Texas, when he disappeared. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed King was now likely in North Korean custody. Illinois residents may be entitled to cash payments as part of an upcoming settlement between the state and Instagram. The state filed a class action lawsuit alleging that Instagram and other platforms controlled by Meta violated the state's Biometric Information Privacy Act. Instagram allegedly collected and stored personal identifiers like fingerprints and facial recognition illegally, leading to the settlement worth $68.5 million. Borderless Magazine and Block Club Chicago have received high praise from the Los Angeles Times and others for their series of articles on migrants in Chicago called After the Buses. The two organizations collaborated to tell the stories of migrants bused to the Windy City by Republican governors and those migrants' efforts to become productive members of American society. The largest portion of the migrants are from Venezuela, many of whom are in the country legally seeking asylum. The Illinois Supreme Court moved yesterday without comment to suspend the law licenses of ComEd for defendants Ann Pramaggiore and Michael McLean. Pramaggiore, former CEO of Commonwealth Edison, and former company lobbyist McLean were convicted of bribery, along with ComEd lobbyists John Hooker and Jay Doherty. Taco Bell may now use the phrase Taco Tuesday in its advertising, as competing fast food chain Taco John's abandoned its federal Taco Tuesday trademark. The decision came as the Wyoming-based chain faced mounting legal bills in defending the trademark. Instead, the company said it would donate $100 for each of its nearly 400 locations to a nonprofit for restaurant workers in crisis and challenged Taco Bell to do the same. Taco John's owned the right to use the Taco Tuesday name in commerce in every state except New Jersey, where it's still owned by Gregory's Restaurant and Bar in Summers Point. The Illinois Supreme Court has upheld the Safety Act. The new law was passed after the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Pretrial Practices strongly endorsed bail reform, noting that a defendant who can't afford bail sees his or life unravel within days from loss of a job, loss of child custody, or health problems without access to medication. The commission found that cash bail tends to generate spurious plea deals as defendants plead to a lower-level offense to get out of jail sooner. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them. Our delivery people are better at installing them. And our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Not much rain in the forecast, although we still need it. Mix of sun and clouds with a high near 86 today. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. High near 90 tomorrow, low around 63. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabadis, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard Counties. This week, Crime Stoppers is seeking information to assist the Springfield Police Department reference a large disturbance that occurred on July 8th at the State House Inn, located at 101 East Adams Street. Upon arrival, officers located a large crowd fighting in the middle of the road. It was later determined that multiple crimes occurred, which resulted in multiple injuries, including a victim being stabbed and other victims being battered. The victims were treated for their injuries at local hospitals. No suspect or suspects have been identified, and Crime Stoppers need your help. There are currently no photographs available. If you have any information regarding this incident, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427. Submit a tip on our website, cashfortips.us, or use the P3 app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County, sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Do you like gadgets, techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone? Like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
An original plastic-wrapped first-gen Apple iPhone just sold for nearly $200,000. Could you be storing away valuable phones in your junk drawers? I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite, the #1 cloud financial system. Get no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Kim. I can't promise you that you have $200,000 laying around your house in an old phone, but you might have some valuable tech. The Nokia 7280 is a quirky, configurable phone that's a favorite among diehard fans. It looks kind of like a lipstick case. One of these will catch you upwards of $230 on eBay. The Motorola International 3200 is a truly retro brick phone. It's the first digital mobile handheld device released back in 1992. And if you're lucky enough to have one, it will get you about $250. So start looking around. I bet you have some cash just sitting there doing nothing. And it's best to get those prices on eBay. Hey, get tech smart every single day with my free newsletter. Sign up now over at getkim.com. If your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue, you should listen up, because how do lower costs, less work, and higher profits sound? Well, right now, NetSuite by Oracle has an offer that you just can't refuse. Listen up. Get no payments and no interest for 6 months on a full implementation of NetSuite. It's the world's #1 cloud ERP, so you can stop fighting with spreadsheets and trying to figure out what went where. With NetSuite, you can manage and automate all of your business processes in one place, so you can identify rising costs and easily see where to save money. Stay ahead of the competition this year. 93% of customers improve their visibility and control when they upgraded, so why wait? And if you've been sizing NetSuite up to make the switch, then you know that this deal is unprecedented. No interest and no payments. Take advantage of this special financing offer at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim to get the visibility and get the control that you need to weather any.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Sunshine.
Well, it's that time for full disclosure with the Better Government Association here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And let's check in with David Greising from the Better Government Association. David, there is a ton going on, including huge news last week, yesterday, that dealt with the Pretrial Fairness Act, a measure that passed way back in early 2021, was changed multiple times. Then you had state's attorneys across the state sue, about 65 of them or so, and a Kankakee County judge declared it unconstitutional right before it was set to go into effect statewide January 1st, but the Illinois Supreme Court held that until they heard it in March, and yesterday they came out with a ruling. What does the ruling say, and what's some of the reaction that we've got from across the state? Good morning.
Well, this is mainly about the elimination of cash bail in the state of Illinois, which Governor J.B. Pritzker has cited as one of his signature legislative achievements. And now this program, which is quite controversial and remains so, and remains politically quite polarizing, this program will go into effect. There will be about 60 days for courts across the state to prepare for this. What they need to do is have systems in place so that when defendants in criminal cases are arraigned, the judges are in a position to determine A, if there should be consideration of holding them until trial, and then B, a hearing about whether in fact the merits of the specifics of the case merit holding till trial or release without any payment. That's the huge change here, is that people who would be released, who are deemed not to be a threat to society, would not have to put up any money in order to get out of jail.
Now, if we recall, in the election season of 2022, you had Republicans and law enforcement groups saying that the Safety Act and the Pretrial Fairness Act would have led to violent criminal defendants being let out without bond. Democrats pushed back and said that was hyperbole and overheated political rhetoric, but the legislature did come back and they had to clarify some things. That essentially says they open up the net of which are detainable offenses to violent crimes. And the governor signed that in December, but that didn't keep the opposition from the state's attorneys across the state bringing their lawsuits. How do you feel the state's attorneys that brought the suits, how are they going to move forward with this? Do they have any other options of appeal?
Well, I guess they could try to take this to the U.S. Supreme Court. I don't know if it's a federal case because everything in this case is a state issue, and there's no competition between different jurisdictions ruling on the case now that the Illinois Supreme Court has ruled. So I think their main approach at this point will be to continue to use this as a political tool. It was quite a robust go-to during the midterm elections and likely will be again in 2024. There's a lot of hyperbole, as you pointed out, Greg, on the issue. This bill was written in a big rush in which a big equity agenda was passed in the legislature, but some of the cleanup language addressed some of the key problems that were raised about the definition of what sort of defendants can be held. And those changes have not brought about support by those 60 states' attorneys, but I think any fair-minded reader will say it is much improved over the original drawing. And now the Supreme Court has ruled, so this is now the law of the state.
And, of course, now 59 days, the local county courts have to implement no cash bail. People can still be held for violent crimes they're facing, but really the genesis of this whole idea was you're innocent until proven guilty. Just because you can't pay bail doesn't mean you should be sitting behind bars awaiting trial. And the proponents of this say that it disproportionately impacted minorities and people of lesser means, while rich people could go ahead and bail themselves out. So we'll see how this goes. But of course, the law enforcement community members that I spoke with from the Sheriff's Association and Fraternal Order of Police, they said they're going to keep close communication with the legislature to ensure they know where some of the pitfalls of this may be when it comes to enforcing this, when it comes to putting those warrants out or those summonses out, and what kinds of loopholes they can try to close with legislative action. So I imagine a lot more is going to be had to say about all of that. David Greising with us with the Better Government Association. David, last week we saw the bribery scandal, the corruption case that's a nearly 9-year-long investigation that federal prosecutors brought against a whole bunch of people associated with former House Speaker Michael Madigan. Last week you had former House Clerk Tim Mapes try to suppress evidence. The feds responded in that. You also had Madigan trying to get this case dismissed, and that all happened last week. But this week, 3 years to the date of when a deferred prosecution agreement with ComEd was revealed, showing, quote, public official A as a corrupt actor, while the federal judge dismissed the case against ComEd. What does all this mean?
Well, this was expected when the utility signed this deferred prosecution agreement. It was in essence a commitment to cooperate with the prosecution and to pay a $200 million fine in order to alleviate some of the benefits that they gained by participating in this corrupt system that we've now had 4 convictions on. And as you pointed out, Mike Madigan will stand trial next spring. The wheels of justice grind rather slowly in big cases like this. What this means is that for Commonwealth Edison, the case is pretty much over. There's still a very valid debate as to whether that $200 million fine was adequate given the stakes for the utility. The smart grid program that was passed when Mike Madigan led the effort to override a governor's veto, that was a $2.6 billion benefit to the company. Ratepayers had to pay for the upgrading of the utility grid in the state. And then a 2016 bailout of 2 nuclear reactors also was affected by the alleged efforts to bribe Michael Madigan. And so there's still a valid debate about whether that $200 million fine was appropriate, but the case is now settled vis-a-vis Commonwealth Edison. It is no longer legally hanging over the utilities' head. Their cooperation with the government has been deemed appropriate and satisfactory, and therefore that's why the case was released at this point.
The criminal trial, though, still ahead for Michael Madigan, so we'll be watching that closely. But I know some at the State House are frustrated that there really hasn't been any substantive conversations about policy changes or ethics reforms specifically derived from what we're seeing play out in the courts surrounding former House Speaker Michael Madigan. David Greising with us. He's with the Better Government Association. And David, coming up, we'll talk about the issue of taxpayer subsidies for migrant health care. An interesting Joint Committee on Administrative Rule hearing yesterday where it got pretty contentious, even Democrats critical of the Pritzker administration. So we'll touch on that. But also the governor's overseas. He's going to be holding a telephone news conference today with reporters updating us on his trip to the UK. So we'll hear about that as well. So stay tuned. We've got much more coming up here with Full Disclosure and the Better Government Association on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 8:50 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE. 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives. Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators, I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else, no TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad, they're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them, our delivery people are better at installing them, and our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
I'm Greg Bishop, and every week I break down the big issues from the Springfield City Council meeting with the Council Roundup. From debates about zoning to city growth and everything else city officials have to say, we serve it up with the Council Roundup, sponsored by Head West Substop. When you want a great sub, you've got to Head West. Wednesday mornings at 7 on Springfield's Morning News with 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Catch past episodes on demand at WMAY.com.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Sunshine.
All right, welcome back. Full disclosure with the Better Government Association. David Greising standing by. David, before we get into these next two topics on rapid fire, let's tell people how they can get a hold of the Better Government Association and all the great work you guys do in the policy space, but also the news you guys put out through Illinois Answers. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. Our website for policy material is bettergov.org, and it has all of our statewide and Chicago-focused policy initiatives in there. And the news website is called illinoisanswers.org. That's where we put our investigations and solutions-focused reporting.
So obviously a lot of resources people can access through the Better Government Association. Yesterday, David, a little-known group in state government called the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. They meet probably once a month, and they deal with executive state agencies and other state agencies in crafting rules based off laws that are passed. Well, yesterday they got pretty contentious with the state agency dealing with the subsidies for migrant health care. Even Democrats were upset with how this is being handled, especially with the start of the new fiscal year where Governor J.B. Pritzker issued rules changing the subsidies for undocumented migrants. And just a bit of background, 2020, the state opened up these health care benefits for those in the country undocumented over the age of 65. They expanded it to those over the age of 42 back in 2022. But then the estimated costs were in excess of $1 billion plus. And now the state has a cap of $550 million. But there's been tons of questions on how exactly this is going to be paid for. And even yesterday it being revealed that they could run out of money for this program by this fall. What are you hearing from advocates and from those who question the overall spending on this?
Well, there's a total lack of confidence in the numbers that have been put out so far because of the history of underestimating the cost of this substantial and unique Illinois-only program to basically extend federal quality Medicare benefits to undocumented immigrants. And the cost that in the current budget is $550 million. But the Illinois Department of Human Services at this hearing indicated that the actual out-of-pocket is running at around $120 million per month. Well, that would add up to about $1.4 billion if the cost continues at that rate. So that's $550 million that's been allocated wouldn't be nearly enough. This, despite the fact that Governor Pritzker has cut back on the program, realizing its runaway costs. It's not surprising, even though, as you point out, the committee in question is typically a pretty quiet affair. And it's not surprising that these lawmakers are on both sides of the aisle are up in arms about this because this program is, while I think quite well intended, is proving to be way more costly than anybody anticipated. And it would appear that the administration doesn't still have a complete handle on what it would cost, what it should cost to administer this program.
We'll be watching that closely because it's one of the larger items in the state budget, and $550 million could balloon into even more. We'll see what state lawmakers do with any kind of special legislation they put forward during veto session to deal with this. So we'll watch that closely. David, we've got 30 seconds here. What are you expecting that the governor's going to bring back from the UK?
Well, we'll hear today at this press conference that you mentioned. I would hope some contracts in the electrical vehicle industry and maybe elsewhere. England is one of the is the state's largest trading partner, so that it's a good market for the governor to be visiting.
Well, we'll be watching that closely as well. David Greising, full disclosure, Better Government Association, Illinois Answers. Thank you so much for taking time. We'll definitely be connecting again next week and talk about a whole host of other issues that are surely going to be popping up on us, all right?
Thanks, Greg. See you then.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. That's all I got for you today. Programming note, I am off Thursday and Friday. All right? It's 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville. Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Jim Ryan. Former President Donald Trump calls it a disgrace and more of a witch hunt now that he's received a target letter saying he's the focus of a federal January 6th investigation. At a re-election campaign rally in Iowa last night, Trump said,
I didn't know practically what a subpoena was and grand juries and all of this. Now I'm like becoming an expert. I have no choice.
Sources say the target letter mentions multiple federal statutes, including conspiracy to commit offense or to defraud the United States. A heat dome blankets